welcome to Shree and I's predictions for August. We have got a lot to talk about as usual. Everything seems to be happening all the time. Everything is so intense, but I'm glad to be here. We always have a little delay, so I apologize for that, but thank you for being here. And let me see. So Shree, are you here? Can you see me?
I can see you, Joni. I'm just pulling you up on YouTube too, so I can see comments or questions if anybody has that.
All right. So we are all here and we are ready to get going to start talking about the month of August. And yeah, I don't know. Are people showing up? Is this live like I think it is?
Yeah, we have, if I think we have 69 people right now. So yeah, they can see us.
Okay, good, because I can't see that they're here. So all right. Um, let me get things situated here, and there we go. All right, now, so Shreekala Ram and we are partners, and we love to do this every month to inform everyone what's going on in the heavens and the skies, because as the planets move and change, so do our lives. So we're here to help you understand how you can use the stars actually for your own self daily, as well as what's going on in the world. And we're going to be taking questions from you guys because I know you have a lot to ask us. A lot is going on. We're going to look day by day at all the transits for the month of August, and we'll look at countries. We'll look at events to answer all of your questions. So with that, I think I'm going to turn it over to Shree. Shree, you take over and you start showing us everything that you have prepared so that we can be in the know for August.
Okay, let me share my screen. You all know what we usually do, so I'm going to share my screen. All right, so we start off with our Prashna chart, which is nothing but a picture of the sky on a certain date in a certain place. So let me do one thing very quickly here and change the state and the place, right? Because I think it's usually set to Iowa. So we want to make it Washington, D.C., just to kind of get the capital of the country, right? So here we are, August 1st, and we have a whole set of charts to review with you guys today, because, we are going to look at, last time you asked for NATO. We found NATO's birth chart, so we look at that. We look at Mark Rutte, and we look at Jerome Powell, a few countries, and then we have, of course, Musk and Trump and Putin and all the people who are in the news right now. So this is going to be a very interesting session. And just to kind of start off, Joni, should we talk about this last couple of days, because it was part of our July predictions?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, seems like everything. Well, this has been such an intense month, really. So many things are happening, and I think everybody will vouch for me with that. Like July 4th, where we had the floods here in Texas that were so devastating. Then moving forward to Mercury going retrograde. And, I had said that it's in the eighth house of the United States chart, which deals with scandals and corruptions. Boy, we getting our fill of that.
Yes.
And as well as that, I said, this is a month we're going to have earthquakes. And look what's happening in my newsletter that I send out to everyone. I said specifically, watch the ring of fire, because that's the ring that goes from Alaska around down to south to Chile and up around the Philippines and Japan and up through Russia, and going back around, and Hawaii's right in the middle of that. Wow. And I think right now, we're looking at it's not over. This intense period around earthquakes is not over. And so what you have circled right there, what's going on?
The reason I circled it, Joni, is because it shows underwater activity with the tsunamis. That's what we were talking about last month with the Neptune, remember? So that's why I circled it with Mars sextile the 6-8, right, with the Saturn Neptune.
Right. And that's been going on the whole month of July. And now that we're, towards the end of the month, we also have Mars has just left Leo. And not only has it just left Leo, it also broke the Kalasarpa Yoga, which is a good thing because Kalasarpa Yoga is like where we feel entrapment. We feel like we don't have a choice in a situation, we're trapped. And what that actually means is when all the planets that are visible to the naked eye are on one side of the Rahu and Ketu axes. Because remember, Rahu and Ketu are always exactly opposed to each other. And therefore, like if you draw a line across from one to the other, then you see all of the planets that are visible to the naked eye on one side. And that means karmically, we're kind of trapped for a while. But now that Mars has reached the sign away from K2, where we have more freedom and things are going to start moving. But we have that Mercury retrograde. And if you'll look, it's like today and tomorrow, we have Mercury is exactly conjunct the sun. And and when Mercury is retrograde, it's called an inferior conjunction. When it's not retrograde and it conjuncts the sun, it's a superior conjunction. And simply what this means is when Mercury is retrograde is that you have a lineup of the Earth, Mercury, and the Sun. So Mercury's between the Sun and the Earth, and that's where it's the inferior conjunction, which means Mercury has to be retrograde. So to make a long story short, with all that astronomical knowledge, when Mercury is exactly conjunct the sun, actually we call it Cassimi. It becomes one with the sun. So it's a very important day. But I just heard this guy on YouTube that talks about earthquakes and weather, and he's not an astrology channel at all. And he happened to say that earthquakes happen when you have planets that are in an inferior conjunction with the sun, which means if it's Mercury, it's retrograde, and if it's Venus, it's retrograde. Those are the only two planets that can actually be in an inferior conjunction because they're on one side of the Earth towards the sun, right? So, but he actually said that earthquakes happen most often during these inferior conjunctions of Mercury and Venus. And here we sit, and it's happening exactly, well, within 24 hours. Yes.
And Joni, does that mean the planet also has to be retrograde, like retrograde Mercury, retrograde Venus?
Yes. When they're in an inferior conjunction, they're always retrograde. So the other way they can be conjunct is a superior conjunction. And when it's a superior conjunction, you have a lineup of Earth, Sun, and Mercury and Venus on the other side of the sun, but they're aligned in conjunct. That means they're going at their fastest rate of speed. But when it's in an inferior conjunction, it means it's in between the Earth and the sun, and that means it's retrograde. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
That's interesting. I didn't know that earthquakes could happen if the planet is retrograde and in an inferior conjunction.
Yeah. And he wasn't even an astrologer. I think he was like somebody that tracks earthquakes. And he said this, not even saying the word astrology, that when these planets do these alignments, they've noticed that these earthquakes happen. And it wasn't even an astrologer. So I found that fascinating.
Yeah, and somebody said on the chat that he probably works with an astrologer.
Yeah. Yeah, but I found that fascinating that he mentioned that just today. So that's another thing going on that is indicative of this seismic activity and earthquakes going on really in many places around the world. And we're just like a nervous wreck thinking there's going to be a big tsunami or something,
And I think tsunami because of the water activity indicated by Neptune. But also, Joni, you and I were talking about this earlier. with Mars currently opposing the Saturn Neptune right here,
Right.
all the way till about the 8th or the 9th of August.
Yes.
This may not be it. There may be aftershocks and things like that.
Right. I mean, there is so much happening. I go month by month and I'm just like always hoping every month is going to be a relief and get better. And sure enough, I'm seeing August is not being a relief and getting better. It looks really intense, but I thought July is the worst. July really triggered everything. Now we're dealing with the aftermath, but here is the aspect that Shri is alluding to that is the most intense. On the 8th and the 9th of August, we have Mars will move up to exactly oppose that Neptune Saturn. And when it does, if you'll notice where Pluto and Uranus sit all at the same time, we have a Mars is at 7 degrees, Pluto's at 8, and Uranus is at 6. 6:55, that's essentially 7 degrees. And when you consider this deals with time, 60 minutes, 55 is almost 60 minutes. So Uranus is 7, Mars is 7, Pluto is 8, and Neptune and Saturn are 7. That's unbelievable, all the aspects that are hitting. And like earlier in the day of the 8th, we have the moon will be conjunct Pluto too. So if you move it back a little bit, the moon and Pluto will align down there. So here's what I say. Mars is a major trigger. Mars makes things happen. And with it aspecting the Saturn Neptune, what is Saturn Neptune? I mean, there's so many things that you and I have talked about, Tree, that it can deal with: flooding, deception, illusions, scandals.
Scandals.
Yeah, cults. The other thing is oil and gas. So something should happen that causes fuel prices to escalate. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be some kind of shipway that's blocked that ships the oil, or if there's going to be an explosion or what. But this should trigger that. One more thing I forgot to mention: Mars being in Virgo, Virgo rules health and healing, and Neptune rules disease. So are we looking at something else dealing with disease? Here's what I'm telling everyone: just strengthen your immune system and try to, get rest and be healthy, just in case something like this happens. You'll be fortified and prepared. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also noticed, Joni, it's a full moon at the time with the sun opposing the moon, which is, I think, the next day, within a few hours, it'll be the full moon.
Yes.
And this could even indicate, because of the sun, it could be some kind of leadership turmoil, world leaders, having to step down, problems like that. But also in your personal lives, be careful. Don't have major discussions or meetings with your superiors or, your managers around this time. This is not a great day for that. Because, you have the sun also in the mix with all this. And these are all malefics: the Pluto, the Saturn, the Uranus, the Mars, everything.
Yeah, absolutely. That it's just, yeah, we have to be aware that these planets affect us on a personal level. I always say, as above, so below. What does that mean? That means our personal lives are being reflected by the planets above, and the planets above affect our personal lives, as well as globally what's going on around us in the masses with the consciousness of everyone out there on Earth. So yeah, this is like crazy times emotionally, and with the full moon
yes,
emotions.
and the moon and the Mars aspecting the Neptune, Joni, in personal lives, I think people should really be aware that they may have clouded thoughts, right? Not very clear in what they're thinking. So don't make any major decisions around these couple of days, try to wait till, Mars is a quick moving planet. Maybe wait for another 2 or 3 days before just to be on the safe side, wait for a week before you make a major decision. We do have a good auspicious date to give you this month if you had something that you wanted to do this month, and we are coming to that. And one of the dates that is really good this month, Joni, is the one that you picked, which was August 6th.
And the reason why this date is so special is because the moon sits in the nakshatra Purvashada, which is the nakshatra that deals with truth finding, spirituality. And Purvashada is also ruled by Venus. That nakshatra is ruled by Venus. And the moon sign, being in Sagittarius, is ruled by Jupiter. And notice that Jupiter and Venus both oppose the moon. So they're casting their light onto the moon. And I always say, if you're going to pick a day to do certain events, always make sure that you fortify the moon with benefics. Now, there's a certain yoga that's going on this day that I love because it's pretty rare to capture it, but it is the Adi Yoga. And the Adi Yoga is when you have all three benefics, Venus, Jupiter, and Mercury, in the 6th, 7th, or 8th houses from the moon. And Adi Yoga is spectacular. It's just a wonderful, wonderful yoga and represents clarity and prosperity and wealth. And I have to say, I chose the day for semester 1 with the university to start on this day because this was such a spectacular yoga for what? Learning. And for those of you that don't know, my university, the University of Vedic Astrology, I start over doing the live webinars for the university about every 6 months. So we're starting again semester 1. So in other words, you get to come on as I go through semester 1. But essentially, really, guys, you can start anytime because there's most all of the recordings for the classes are pre-recorded, but everyone wants to be in the live ones. So I'm starting to do the live ones for semester 1. And Shree just pulled up the website for the university so you could see a little bit, if you've never heard of this, what's going on with it and what we're talking about.
Yeah, this is the website. It's universityofvedicastrology.com. And I was just telling Joni this morning, this university changed my life along with a lot of other students and graduates because it is one of a kind. There are so many different aspects to this university. And you guys know, because we've been talking about this, a lot, because this is actually one of the, I think, Joni, this would be one of your proudest accomplishments, right?
Except for my 3 sons.
Yes. Yes, because
that's
it's
what
just
I'm most proud of. And then secondly, of course, my marriage and my family, but this is one of my greatest accomplishments in life. Truly it is.
it's just so beautifully designed, this course, because when we talk in these YouTube sessions and I'm circling things on the chart and talking about predictions and all that, all of that we learned from here. This is where I learned it from the university, and you can see how nicely it's structured. It has the first semester with all the basics, and then you go to the second semester, you kind of layer in the transits and the eclipses and the charts, the divisional charts, the dashas. And then as you go further in, you bring in more information, right? And in fact, Joni, my favorite semester is the 4th semester because it talks about all the, economy stuff, the stock market, the yearly chart, spirituality, all of that is in the 4th semester. And what really sets this university apart from others, if I may kind of talk about that a little bit, is the 6th semester. Because a lot of other astrology universities will teach you everything, all the theory, and then they'll just let you go and do what you need to do. Here, we kind of walk you through live readings, 3 live readings with client or with your tutor, because everybody gets a tutor of their own in this university. And you get to actually apply what you learned while you're under the umbrella of, the university and the tutors and Joni and everybody. So you can still get help in that aspect, right? Instead of just going off and trying to do readings and learning by, making mistakes and things like that. Here, you're able to really practice everything while you're in the course, which is, I think, a great aspect of this university. And you can see here in the 6th semester, you learn how to predict a marriage and health and disease and wealth and money. You actually get a chart for each of these, and you're asked to come up with the date, which is, I think, amazing hands-on experience.
Yeah,
So
you prove what you've learned in the university because you can actually do these things by the time you get to the 6th semester.
yeah, absolutely. So it's a really beautiful way the course is structured, and Joni always starts the course twice a year. And of course, now, this is the second time, Joni, you're starting in 2025, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is it, August 6th, guys. Can't help but go into this once I saw, we're in August right now. And well, we're not yet. We got a day or two, but still, we're going to be in August. This is, let me put it this way. If you have the astrology bug, all you think about is astrology, which a lot of us are like that. It's time to start the university. And some people say, hey, Mercury's retrograde. Why would you pick a day with Mercury retrograde? In Vedic astrology, when a planet's retrograde, it's more powerful. Mercury is the mind. So and I'll never forget when I started flying for the airlines, let me tell you guys this. Back in 1979, I started with the airlines with Mercury retrograde. Mercury deals with traveling. I was there for 40 years. So Mercury retrograde is more powerful for learning. It's intense. It puts it deep within. So this is the day to start with the University of Vedic Astrology. So if you're interested, guys, just go to the website that Shri just pulled up, which is universityofvedicastrology.com. So yes.
And I see a few questions here. Somebody asked about the Adi yoga. It's spelled as AADI, so it's Adi, or maybe ADI yoga, because people were asking how to look it up. And that's amazing, Joni, that you picked the date when all these benefics are across from the moon.
Yeah, so it's, did you say it right? I wasn't paying attention. ADHI, Adi.
Yeah, ADHI, I see AADI, I see ADI, everything. People are saying all kinds of spellings here in the chat.
You know what? Sometimes there are different spellings in certain areas of India. Some put H's and some don't. You know that, Shri.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's the yoga. And somebody asked 6 semesters in about how long? Typically, if you follow along with Joni in the order she's doing the live lessons, it should take about 8 to 9 months or about a year, right, Joni?
Yeah, because we take vacations. We take Christmas break and we take a summer vacation. Some people can do it that have some astrology knowledge already. They can do it in a lot less of the time but I like to take it slow and easy and give you guys time to memorize. This is not easy stuff. It doesn't just, pop out. You can't remember all of these things. And most importantly, throughout the time that we're in the university together, remember this, that we practice. That's what makes you perfect and get better and better. So we're always practicing with live charts like we are right now. We'll look at famous people's charts or what's going on in the sky. And here's the best part about the university, in my opinion. Everybody, listen up. It never expires. Let's say you sign up and something in your life derails you. You can come back 6 months later and start over, or a year later, or 2 or 5 years later. And here's the other beautiful thing. You get to participate and listen to all of my live videos forever. As if you've paid for that semester or the course or the university, you get to come back anytime and listen to our live classes. And everyone says they learn something new every time.
Yes.
So
And also I wanted to add there, Joni, once you graduate, you are still a part of the university. This is like, you won't see this in any other university or astrology course anywhere, because most courses will have you log in and take the course on your own on a platform. Here you have a community to support you, the Telegram community, which has students talking about astrology all day long. You have Joni doing live webinars every other week, and you have a personal tutor who can help you through the courses and
yeah,
grade your tests.
yeah,
And once you're done, you're still with us. If you wanted to do
yes.
readings, you can see book a reading with UVA graduates. We can put you on this website to do readings. If you wanted to tutor, and that is more of your passion, teaching, then Joni pays the tutors to help new students. You can create courses. I have so far created 2 courses on this university platform. Because why? It's a ready-made platform. You have the students there already who want to learn. And if you had to do this on your own, it's very hard to build that kind of following. So I
Yeah.
think this is an amazing opportunity. And Joni, always grateful for you opening this platform up for everybody to be a part of.
Mhm. And I want to say something to Tracy Austin. Tracy, I see you all the time making such lovely comments. Thank you. And she's saying, what's the cost, please? It's not cheap. And I'll tell you why. This is serious stuff in astrology, and we set you up in business. And this is a whole year's course. So if you will put this in perspective, that this is a very serious class that takes a year and sets you up in business, and compare it to college, university cost, this is a bargain. And I'm not kidding you. I put all of my energy into this, and it's always evolving and changing. We're adding new things to it and new people. So she's putting up the prices right here. And here's another thing. You can do a payment plan. We also have that set up where you have a payment plan. If you pay for the entire full course, you save $1,000. You pretty much, well, more than that, you get 1 semester free. So, but when you sign up for the whole thing, then you get to watch all of the live webinars that I do every week. Even though you might be in semester 1, taking a test in semester 1, you can still watch the videos for semester 3 or 2 and see where everyone is and constantly be learning. This is a learning that goes on and on and on for, I'm telling you, for the rest of your life. So this is not just some course you sign up for, some 2-bit, month class or weekend class. This is a lifelong class. So you got to admit, it is a bargain.
And it's self-paced. You can take it and in your own time. Life happens. A lot of our students go off when, life gets busy, they're not able to do it. And then they come back and they finish things when they are able to. So it's
Yeah.
completely self-paced. Nobody's going to be asking you about homework and assignments if you're not ready to submit it. Of course, we will remind you that we are here to help you, but it's again a very flexible, self-paced course. If you're not able to do it now, you come back and do it when Joni starts semester 1 again. So, and the best thing is whenever Joni does these live webinars, and this is something, Joni, I've always appreciated about this course, it is not the same material, right? The concept is the same, but each live webinar has a brand new chart that is in the news at the time.
Mhm.
So you will always learn something new. You're not repeating the same information over and over again. So this is amazing. So there's so many pluses to this university that, I can't even remember all the different points I want to say here.
Yeah, and like I said, there is a payment plan. If you click on it to purchase a semester, it will lead you into see that you can do it with the payment plan. Okay, so so that's that. And somebody else had can I start at semester 3? No, you got to start at the beginning. I promise you, there is so much that I teach that you don't have. A lot of people think, well, I already know this. Shree, explain that. Explain how I fill in all the gaps in the way I teach, and particularly about the houses. I guarantee you there's stuff that you're going to need.
Yes. I mean, let me explain that, because we have seen this all the time in the university. People try to ask if they can come in the third or the fourth semester, because you're looking at these sentences here and thinking, oh, I know all about the houses, I know about the planets and the signs, right? But it's not, when you see how Joni teaches, especially with those live charts and examples, it is actually a lot more information than what this 2-word line here means. There is so much information. For example, the Nakshatras class that Joni does, the live webinar, it'll last a minimum of 2 hours. And I don't know, Joni, how you have the stamina to do that for 2 hours, going through all those nakshatras. And the bhavat bhavam, it's such an important concept. So there is always, you will learn something new. So, please join with the first semester, because it does build in layers. So if you come in the middle, you may have missed a lot of important concepts from the first few semesters, and it won't help you graduate, because you kind of have to go through the whole thing to graduate.
Exactly. And yeah, so if there's any other questions before we move on, we'll be go ahead and put your questions in right now about the university. If there's anything that we haven't that you've been wanting to ask us, now's the time. Okay.
Somebody is asking, is it only men who did astrology?
Yeah, I like that, because it feels like, no, I mean, we have so many women in our classes that, but you know what, it's starting to ease up where there's more men coming towards. But you know what, they're right. It used to be that all the teachers were men and all the students were women.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go back to the charts, but as we go through the remaining world events and charts, if you guys have any other questions, you can always ask, even if it's about the university. We'll come back and look at the questions in the end too. And I think, Joni, we have a great segue here with Ted's question. He's asking about the stock market and the crypto over the next 3 months. And we were talking about this right before this YouTube.
Yes, I was. Here's the thing. There's so many astrological reasons why there should be a very temporary or slight drop in the economy. And it has a lot to do with the Mars Saturn. And a lot of astrologers, including Western, they look at the Saturn Jupiter square, which has been, they're kind of out of orb right now, but they've been pretty close for a while. And with Mars, and somebody else asked, is there going to be fuel prices? Yes, I think fuel prices are going to go up. But, I was also watching about about Powell, and he is like, with the interest rate, he refuses to lower the interest rate. Well, that just made the stock market go down. And, this reflects in the economy a lot. But something is going to happen by September. Now, this is what I'm led to believe, and I want your opinion too, Shree, on this. By September, just looking ahead, when Jupiter and Rahu go into a trinal aspect. Oh my God, you pulled up the date. You knew right where I was going, didn't you? So when that Jupiter and Rahu trine each other early September, that should make the economy and the stock market rise. And I think it's going to go down like for this month. So I say, if that's something that you like to do, invest in the stock market or in cryptocurrency or gold or silver, all of those things of investments, and even real estate, I think it's time this month of August, if everything goes down like I suspect it will rise up really high at this time soon in September. And even if it doesn't in September, which usually it does, things rise with Jupiter and Rahu, especially in a trinal aspect like they're in exactly. But by the time Jupiter does go into Cancer and stays there a year from now, we're going to have a thriving economy and stock market. I mean, it's been thriving according to, what you see on the news and things like that right now. But I think it's really going to be more stable. And if there's a drop in the stock market and the economy, this month of August, I say it's time to invest. Now, remember, I could be wrong, so don't, I have to do a little disclaimer here, but I could be wrong. Nothing's 100% right, but this is what I'm banking on for myself, that this is what I think will happen. Now, if it never drops this month, then, I think this means by September, things are going to rise even more. Okay. And then by the time Jupiter is in Cancer next summer, it's going to, everything will be thriving and doing really well. So,
and what I also noticed, Joni, is that locking of Saturn Neptune at 7 degrees has loosened up by then, by September.
yeah.
It's Saturn's retrograde and the orb is increasing. So that could also mean good things for the economy at that time. And
Yeah.
also for a couple of days, Moon will be with that Rahu and Jupiter combination. So I think you're right. September could be a high.
Yeah, I think it's going to be high. So, do we want to look at Powell's chart? And
I pulled it up and I was looking at this combination here with this is around that Saturn Neptune combination because he has been under a little bit of stress, right? With Trump asking him to reduce the interest rates.
yes, and so here's the thing: his chart does not look good because Saturn and Neptune are right there on his Venus Mars right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have his birth time, guys, but we just tried to look at the day and see where the moon was. And we do know that regardless of what time he's born, that his Mars and his Venus are that degree the entire day. So Saturn and Neptune are on it. And when transiting Mars comes up and triggers that, something is due to happen, either to
Yes.
him or the markets. So I'm looking at August as definitely something is due to happen. Particularly, I think it's got to be around the 8th and the 9th, that full moon when Mars hits that 7-degree mark and is opposite the Saturn Neptune. And also we have that grand Earth trine that can deal with the economy as well. Earth signs deal with money.
Money, yes. And also, his moon, we don't know exactly what degrees it's in, but if it's in Virgo, Mars is on it. So that's the other reason why I think there's some things going on with his, especially him being under stress with all these demands being made. Also, in case people don't know who he is, he's the chair of the Federal Reserve in the United States. Okay. So,
Yes.
Joni, do you want me to go to NATO's chart?
Yes, go. Yeah, that's where we
Okay.
started. We didn't finish.
So yes, so you guys asked for NATO's chart in the last time we talked to you in July, and we were able to pull it up. And and it's interesting. I'm glad we looked at this chart because NATO has a lot of planets in Pisces. You can see the exalted Venus, the debilitated Mercury, which in essence creates a yoga, right? Because when an exalted planet and a debilitated planet comes together, it cancels the debilitation, but also it uplifts the exaltation. It creates a Neech Bhang Raja Yoga. So this is nice in NATO's chart, but again, remember it's in the 8th house. Look at the ascendant. So this is in the 8th house. What does that mean? Money is coming from others, right? And this is what has been going on lately in the news with NATO. They have been asking all the countries to increase their defense spending. The question could be why, right? You see how Saturn Neptune is triggering this, but in the end of this year, October to December, Jupiter is going to be here in Cancer for a little bit. And then, like Joni was saying, in the summer of 2026, Jupiter is going to be here in Cancer. What does it do when it's in Cancer?
Or should I say the winter in Australia? I forgot.
Yes, or in Australia, it's the winter.
Sorry, guys. I know I have a lot of people that follow us in Australia. I always have to correct myself. Whoops. In the northern hemisphere, it will be summer. In the southern hemisphere, it'll be winter.
It'll be the winter, yes. So when Jupiter is here in Cancer next year, remember it's aspecting all these planets in Pisces. So, all the demands that NATO is making of the countries to increase their defense spending, it looks like it's going to come through. More money is coming in. Eighth house is money that comes in from others, right? So that's great. And also, Joni, I noticed that the goal that they have is 2029, which by then Jupiter would have gone through Virgo, which is the second house, which is money, and on into Libra and Scorpio. So I think this is very telling, this chart.
Mhm. I agree. It really is. And one more thing, wherever Saturn is and Jupiter aspects it simultaneously, actually empowers it all the more. So, so you might be thinking, what are they talking about with with Jupiter? While Saturn's going to be crossing over all those planets all around that time, but Jupiter aspects it with its trine, which means it's 5-9 placements from it. The trinal aspect from Jupiter is so positive and expansive and brings wealth. And Saturn there gives the discipline and focus to get it done, while Jupiter brings the opportunities. So this is good. This is looking good to me. Everything I think is going to be working well. All the turmoil that we're going to, all the things that are purging and coming to a head from all that we're going through right now, in some way it's going to pay off. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I was also looking at Mark Ritte's chart, who is the Secretary General of NATO. Is that what his title is? I have to look it up. I hope I'm not misstating it. But his chart is also interesting because right now, he's been getting a lot of compliments from all over, saying that he's the reason why NATO is building itself up, right? And that's interesting because look at his planets here in the seventh house of partnerships and deals, right? Making deals, contracts. Jupiter, transiting Jupiter in Gemini, is aspecting all these planets in his seventh house right now. So no wonder the past couple of months he's been in the news.
Yeah.
Right. So Joni, which one do you want me to go to next? The full moon, the new moon?
Okay, so we pretty much looked at the September full moon. I want to go, should we already hop to the new moon that happens later in the month? Because
Yes.
this
Let's go
is,
to the 22nd, I believe, right?
let's see.
Yeah, it's the 20.
I thought it was the
22nd.
24th. No, you're right, 23rd.
23rd, sorry. Yeah, 23rd.
Yeah. So this is the new moon. What is the new moon? When the sun and the moon are exactly conjunct. And it really does start a new trend. So you never want to begin things, by the way, guys, when you have the moon behind the sun. So in other words, a dark moon, like, what, and so essentially what I'm saying is a few days before the new moon, you don't want to begin things because it's the ending phase of the cycle of the last new moon. So it's like when the moon is full, 2 weeks after the new moon, right before the full moon is usually the best time to get things done because everything comes to its fullness and manifestation. But right before the new moon, lay low, guys, just a few days. And then after the new moon, then you get to start new projects. But looking at this, let me show you something. Look at that sun and moon at 6 degrees of Leo. This is really amazing. So, and now I want you to look over at Pluto at 7 degrees of Capricorn. And there you go. Then go to the Saturn Neptune is up there too with Saturn. They stay really and truly, the Saturn and Neptune kind of stay really close to each other all the way till around next March. Saturn's going to back all the way down to 0 degrees by December, but it's going to move back up and conjunct Neptune again. So all the way till March. February is exactly where they're going to be conjunct. But here's the thing. When you look at that moon, oh, one more thing, circle Uranus. That's another planet that's involved in this new moon. So if you'll notice, Uranus is squaring the new moon. What does that mean? Sudden, unexpected events, okay? Things you don't, happen clearly out of the blue. Pluto is in a 6-8 relationship to the sun moon, and that's actually called a quincunx aspect. In Vedic, we call it 6-8. Then the Saturn Neptune are in another quincunx to the new moon, and a quincunx is a 6-8. And what that essentially means, if you were to count from where Saturn is to where the new moon is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you count back, it'll be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why am I telling you all this? Because the 6th house in astrology represents accidents and enemies, and the 8th house represents death. This is a nasty configuration in the sky. But when you have two quincunxes to a third point that is like, we call it the what is it, not the culprit, but it's the point where all the energy is sent from the two quincunxes, and that's the new moon at 6 degrees of Leo. And what is it? A yod. And yods, as we have said before, it's called the finger of God. It's something that happens completely unexpectedly, and it's like something of a karmic destiny nature. The finger of God. God is controlling and acting on this. So our point is, look at Donald Trump's ascendant, 6 degrees Leo, where that new moon sits. Now you could say, because the new moon sits right there on his ascendant, that there's a new beginning. But I do not like the fact that it sits right where there's a perfect yod. And most of all, Uranus is squaring his ascendant. You see, the time of his assassination attempt, we had Mars and Uranus were on his midheaven exactly at 1 degree of Taurus. So now we've got this configuration that's aspecting his ascendant. And what bothers me the most really is the Uranus aspecting the ascendant, because Uranus is sudden, unexpected events. Now, this could mean something from the scandals. This could mean something to an attack. This could mean something physically hurting him, because the ascendant is us. Anytime you look at ascendant in the chart, it's your physical being usually. It's the first house is you, your head. And yeah, so this, and you know what? Whether you like him or not, anytime you see where a world leader of any country is going to have problems, that's a problem for the country.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what what I'm looking at. So what do you think about all that, Shree?
Yeah, it's interesting, Joni. I didn't realize the Uranus squaring the ascendant. That's because you're right. During the last year, June, I believe, it was exactly on his midheaven at 1 degree when the attempt happened. But I also think, with him signing all these deals, like, you were saying, the new beginnings, it could be a mix of both, right? Because maybe people are not very happy about the tariffs and the new things that he's doing.
Yeah.
And hence there is, some kind of threat happening.
Yeah. So, and what I always thought to myself was, Pisces, where that Saturn Neptune are, this is very interesting, is in his 8th house.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the 8th house? Scandals. What is the eighth house? It's trouble. But if you think about it also in the chart for the United States, it's the fourth house, which could be our homeland too.
Homeland.
So,
Yeah.
we're just putting all the possibilities out there, guys. I'm not saying that all of this is going to happen. And as you well know, we do have free will. Nothing is written in stone, but we do have these possibilities. This is what astrology is all about. Reading
And
a
I
chart.
think for now, probably his, all the work that he's doing in terms of NATO and the leadership and, declaring ceasefires all over, I think all of that can be attributed to transiting Jupiter being on his Mercury, which is one of his good planets, But by the time this transit and the end of August happens, Joni, Jupiter's orb is very, very long from the Mercury. It's not there anymore.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, his Mercury, though, it's interesting that Jupiter just crossed over his Mercury recently,
Yeah.
and he did quite a number of the trades with different countries that he was proud of. So,
Yes.
yeah.
So that's great. All right. So let's look at, we have Russia's chart up here. I think that's one that we wanted to look at. And that mainly because of the earthquake, right, Joni? That's the reason why we pulled this one up.
Yeah.
And what we noticed is the Pluto, transiting Pluto being on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, 7 degrees. It's very close, right? Moon is at 9 degrees. That's why we kind of felt that there may be some aftershocks and things like that happening as Pluto comes closer to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And Joni, you wanted to talk about Ghislaine. How do you pronounce the name?
It's Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine Maxwell.
And by the way, this is who's in the news. I want to tell you guys, I did a video on her. I'm almost like, should I put that video out? I swear, because let me tell you, the more I look into this, the sicker I get. Because here's one thing I want to tell everybody right here and now. We shouldn't be so much focusing in on all this dark negativity, because it really does bring our vibration down. So I was looking at all these charts and studying her chart and putting it up last weekend. I'm not kidding you guys. I felt like my vibrational frequency was really lowered, and this is not good for us. So I said it even in the video. I said, you know what? I think this is going to be the last video I'm going to do on this, because this is so dark. Really, I went down the rabbit hole with it, and I got really sick looking at what this all could be about. And it's like, whether it's Illuminati, but I think, it goes higher above any of the political leaders or the people that we call the richest people in the world. No, there's forces that are much more powerful than that. And that's what's behind a lot of this. And it's really sickening. But let's look at her chart just from the standpoint of what could be happening to her.
From an academic view.
Yeah. So the most interesting thing I found, we have her birth time. This is her chart. It's from a birth certificate at the time. And and here's what I said before I got into all of this. I said, I just want to know the truth. What is the truth? The truth always heals. And as I discovered more and more about the truth, I felt like my vibration and energy was really lowered. So I think I found the truth, and I'm pretty much over it, or I'm trying to get over it. Anyway, getting back to her chart, let's talk about where Mars and Saturn are around the 8th and the 9th of August. Remember, they're going to be in opposition to each other. Look at that. Mars is going to be 7 degrees. Saturn, Neptune will be 7 degrees. And even, what else was I thinking? Well, yeah, even Pluto, and Pluto and Uranus are all those degree markings. But remember that Saturn, Neptune 7 and that Mars 7. Now go to her chart. Look at her natal Mars. So here's what's going to happen, guys. Saturn is going to, with its full 10th aspect, exactly square Mars, and Neptune will be there squaring Mars. Transiting Mars at 7 degrees, Mars is always a trigger, right? And it is exactly squaring natal Mars. Where is her natal Mars? It's in the 8th house. It rules the 12th house in the 8th house. And what is that? Prison, the 12th house rules prison. The 8th house rules death. And it also rules corruption and sexual abuse and things like that.
And scandals.
And scandals, thank you. So my point is something really treacherous could happen to her around the 8th and the 9th when that Mars, her natal Mars will be at the midpoint of Saturn, Neptune opposed Mars. So that is a lot going on. And in the 8th house, it could deal with scandals and death and all of that. Yeah, and she just entered into her Rahu Dasha, which changes everything when you change dashas.
Yeah.
And I can't help but notice she's a Rahu moon. You know, the moon conjunct Rahu. I go into all sorts of things. And actually, we studied her chart in the university, and we came up with so many things. The fact that she was born in the Kalasarpa Yoga, the fact that she has an isolated moon all by itself. And yeah, I mean, this is like a crazy, crazy chart. And plus her moon is in the nakshatra Aslesha. Aslesha's symbol is a snake, guys. And her Mars sits in the nakshatra Mula, which is a very destructive nakshatra because Mula is ruled by the god of destruction, Nriti. And this chart tells the whole story, is what I found from everything that I dug up about this. So, yeah.
And that's what I wanted to add about the university there, Joni. This was one of the, just to kind of reiterate what Joni was saying, this was one of the charts Joni did in the live webinar a week ago. And this is a good example for you guys because, you know, it's something in the news right now. It's somebody in the news right now, very, you know, current, right? But on the other hand, these classes, these live webinars are not one-sided. Joni allows all the students to weigh in what they are finding in the chart, and it becomes a very lively discussion. So it is really beautiful how this the live webinars happen.
Yeah, because you know, the charts of what's happening currently is what makes it interesting. And you know, whatever happens, if like, you know, somebody just passed away or something, we want to pay tribute to their lives and look at, you know, what their life was all about. So we study their charts in the classes. And this one is the one we just studied last time. Boy, we came up with so many things. And like, you know, if you know much about her, her father was really what got her into everything. And if you'll notice, the 9th house, which represents the father, is where Saturn, Jupiter, and Ketu are. And Jupiter rules the 8th house, but goes to the 9th house
It's
of the father.
too.
Debilitated with Ketu. And with Saturn, it tells the whole story about her life. And I guarantee you, for her to have done the things that she did, she was abused too. That's the way, that's the cycle of sexual abuse, the way it happens. And, you know, you can see so much. Her father died in disgrace. He was a criminal too. And he got her into everything and actually introduced her to Epstein. So anyway.
And that could be the Sun, Mars, and the 8th house too.
Mm-hmm.
Because Sun is the Karaka for father.
You bet. Exactly. Right. It's all here. It's so fascinating. So
I'm glad you found the time, Joni. I didn't know we had the time for her.
Yeah, I mean, that makes it so much more specific. And then again, don't forget, we also look at the chart from the moon. And when you do that, all those planets in the 8th actually go to the 6th, which is Another Dastana difficult house. I mean, no matter how you look at it, the truth is all here. And all of those planets going to the seventh house from the moon represent her partner, which was Epstein. Plus, if you look from the ascendant, going to the seventh house is Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars. And of course, the planet that rules partnerships, the seventh house, goes to the eighth house, which, you know, is corruptions and scandals. It's all here. It's so incredible. And, you know, that's what makes it interesting, because you really see from real life, these charts play out their life, their character, everything about them. It's just, astrology is amazing.
Yes. And I think, Joni, somebody asked if Benjamin Netanyahu will be ousted. So I'm just going to quickly pull up his chart while, since that was a question.
Okay, good. I forgot about looking at him. This is good. And so looking at this, we got to always look at where Pisces and Virgo are, right? Because Mars is going to be in Virgo, and look at all those planets. And Mars is going to be crossing over in August and part of September, but mainly August. And then eventually the Saturn, Neptune are going to come over his Rahu. And let's see. So his ascendant, that's going to be in his fifth house, which the fifth house can represent the mind. And the 11th house represents humanity, the people. Wow, look at that. And what a lot of people don't realize, which I came to understand through all my years of astrology, that the fifth house and the 11th house deal with politics, just like the signs Leo and Aquarius deal with politics. So, I mean, look at his 11th and fifth house, and he has his Mars, Saturn, and Leo. But will he be ousted? Wow, that's a hard one. He's in trouble when Mars
I
goes
think it's
over.
fine, Joni, till that sun is hit, right?
So, till Mars hits the sun, you're saying?
Mars hits the sun, and I think once Jupiter moves off into Cancer, because right now Jupiter is protecting the sun.
That's true.
And that sun rules his 10th house of career, goes into the 12th house of endings and loss. So for now, I think he's okay. But end of this year, it doesn't look great for him.
Yeah, when Saturn starts to oppose the moon, I think
Yeah,
that's later. That's going to be like a year from now, or
2026.
or
Yeah.
maybe a year and a half from now. That's where I think he's, because I don't like Saturn moon contacts. They really play heavy on your emotions, how you feel. It's
They
really
do.
difficult. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So let's look who else. So we have, I think we were going to look at Musk's chart.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so what I saw here, Joni, interesting, is this 7-degree mark of Saturn. So the transiting Saturn and Neptune here in Pisces at 7 degrees, that Saturn is directly aspecting his natal Saturn in the 12th house.
Yes.
And, you know, 12th house is for him, it's his, you know, the Saturn rules the eighth and the ninth, yeah, eighth and the ninth. So yes, so he is going through some disgrace and scandals and things right now. But what I was thinking, and I don't know, Joni, if you see the same thing, things are going to get a little better for him in the end of the year when Jupiter moves on into Cancer.
Yeah. Well, even when it crosses over his ascendant Mercury, he'll
20
experience
degrees.
some rise, and that will be what? That'll be in August. Yes. It'll be probably,
Yeah, the middle of August almost.
yeah, almost the middle of August. And then the other thing is one thing I wanted to explain to everyone is Shree was talking about Saturn aspecting his natal Saturn. Well, in Vedic astrology, the Western sextile of Saturn, which is 3 signs away, that's a full aspect. It equates pretty much to Saturn conjuncting a planet when it's 3 signs away. So Saturn, that's heavy. That's why that's such an important aspect going on there. And here's another thing. K2 is going to cross over his moon. Did you see that? Look
Oh,
at
yeah, I didn't notice that, Joni. Yeah,
that.
right there, 14 degrees. Let's see what is K2 at right now? 24.
Yeah. So
Um,
it's probably going to be
in about
maybe in
six,
about
7 months.
about 8 months or so. And that's going to be really hard on him because it kind of means he's going to lose his notoriety because the third house can deal with information. And you know what? That's what he's about pretty much. And with K2 means there can be some losses there. But
And his mother should be careful too.
yeah, true. Mother, the moon is the mother. K2 can be losses. That might be what really detains his attention. And
Right.
but you know what? I think eventually, when Jupiter goes into Cancer, it's going to, and that's in a year when it goes there to stay. It's going to start to aspect his Jupiter, Neptune. It's going to oppose his Mars, conjunct his K2. And I think I keep saying this, I think he's going to come up with some kind of healing modalities because his Jupiter Neptune are in the sixth house of health and healing. And notice that his Saturn and Neptune are exactly opposed. So whenever I see Saturn Neptune, I see something about bringing Saturn is reality and Neptune is delusion. So it's almost like uncovering some delusions, bringing things to the truth and reality. And I think this can be about health and healing. And, that there's been so many, or there's going to be so many healing modalities that come out that have been suppressed.
And in a way, that's what he did with the Doge, Joni. He had to dig and find all the places where the country lost money, and he had to expose a lot of those deceptions and bring out the truth. And I think that's very interesting that he has that Saturn Neptune.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree. And somebody's asking, did we mention the stock market and oil? Yes, we did. You got to go back and listen to this. We talked about that in the beginning.
Good. All right. So let's look at the questions now. All right. So what is the difference between North and South Indian style, since they're both tied to Vedic astrology?
What was that? I missed that. Oh, I see it now. What's the difference between North and South Indian styles? They read exactly the same way. It's just a different format. And it really just depends on who your teacher is as to which one you use. They're the same. Because I use the South Indian style chart, my students are more, it's easier for them to follow, but you should be able to follow both of them. So the difference is that in the South Indian style chart, the signs stay fixed. So see where Gemini and Cancer and Leo, that they will stay in those places no matter whose chart you're looking at, okay? But what changes are the houses. So wherever the ascendant is, according to what sign it is, always marks the first house. And so therefore you see up there where the ASC is in Gemini, that's the first house. And then everything moves clockwise. So then after Gemini's the first house, Cancer's the second house, Leo's the third house, Virgo's the fourth house, all the way around to the 12th house. That's the South Indian style format. Okay. Yeah. So now the North Indian style, this really throws people for a loop that do Western astrology, because they don't understand that those numbers do not represent the houses. So what the deal is with this one is that the houses are fixed. They never change. So the top diamond, where you see where Shree circled the number 3, that's always the first house. And everything in this chart moves clockwise. So if you'll look, there is the first house, then the next house is right where she's talking, that's the second house. And then after that, that's the third house. Then this is the fourth, and then the fifth, and then the sixth, and the seventh. No, wait, the seventh. No, the seventh is where the 9 is. Okay. And then, okay, on around. But here's the thing about this. that diamond in the middle is always going to be the angles of the chart, which the
1,
top
4, 7,
diamond,
and 10.
yeah, the top diamond is the first house, the second diamond is the fourth, and the bottom one is the seventh, and the one to the right is the 10th. So those numbers, what are those numbers? They're the signs. So you got to know in the natural zodiac that Aries is the first sign, Taurus is the second, Gemini is the third, all the way around to Pisces being the 12th sign. So in this chart, the number 3 on the first house represents he has a Gemini ascendant because 3 stands for Gemini, and 4 stands for Cancer, and 5 stands for Leo. So they're just a different format of the same chart. I know that was more than you probably wanted, but
Yeah, I think the moral of the story is it's the same chart. It's just shown in a different way.
yes. Okay.
Good.
All
All
right.
right. Well, let's look at other questions here. Somebody asked about cryptocurrency, Joni.
Yes, I think cryptocurrency is going to follow along with the stock market. Okay. As the stock market goes down, it'll go down a little bit, but it's going to come up. I think it's in for a big, good run. I haven't looked at the chart for the white papers in a while, but let me think. It's like this. I'll tell you this right now. I know the most important planet in that chart is Mercury, and it sits at 29 degrees of Virgo. And Mars is going to cross over it. So this is a chart I use for Bitcoin. Thank you. So notice that Mercury is right there at 29 degrees. I think when Mars crosses over that Mercury, it will activate it. Let's see. That is in the 10th house.
September.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to cause it to go up or down, Shree?
I think it'll go down.
Yeah.
And I think what's going to happen is once Jupiter goes into Cancer, it'll aspect that Rahu. That's when it's going to go up.
Yes, you're right. It's gonna, yeah. Although it's gonna be on K2, which can be, a little dicey up and down because
The only
K2.
reason I feel, Joni, is because not only is it aspecting the Rahu, but Jupiter in Cancer will also aspect the Venus, which is the ruler of the 11th house.
That's true.
So both the Dhana houses, the wealth houses are triggered.
You're right. Okay. So regardless, if it goes low, guys, it's probably a good time because it's going to go up again, especially from a year from now. Okay.
Good. All right. So let's see what else is going on here. Iran's chart. Do you see a regime change in Iran based on Iran's chart? Let's see. Do I have Iran's chart?
I think we had 2 of them, but yeah.
Yeah, there was some confusion about this chart. So,
Yeah. But I think this is the one I think that works the most.
okay.
So here's what's going to happen. Well, Saturn and Neptune have been going over their Mars and their Mercury, and eventually it will hit their sun. When it does hit the sun, which will be in about a year, they will have I think a regime change because the sun is the ruler and the leader based on this chart. And sometimes charts aren't exact, but because who knows really if this is the correct chart for Iran. We found it, we assume it is. And, you just have to watch these charts as things unfold if it's the correct chart. Just for example, the chart I use on the United States is definitely correct. I've watched it unfold through all different events. It definitely works. But this one, I'm not 100%. But I'll tell you, when Saturn backs up, Saturn will back up over Mercury and Mars between October through December. This could be very difficult for Iran.
And it could be shaky right now because the Saturn is starting to look at the Mars since it's retrograde.
Yeah.
Because Mars rules the 10th house, which 10th house in a chart, in a country chart, can, indicate its government.
Well, and plus Mars is going to aspect that, especially in just
Yes.
a few days too.
Hmm.
So we'll have to watch and see if something happens when Mars opposes Mars and Mercury, which will be the first week of August.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
good. All right. So let's see. Any other questions? I'm going to go up a little bit because I think I missed some. Somebody asked about the university. Can you go semester by semester? You can, right?
Yeah, of
Um,
course. A lot of people do that.
yeah, you can go semester by semester. Ted, yes, I still post the investment financial article in Joni's magazine, Joni Patry's Astrology Insights magazine. It's the next issue is going to be on Friday. And you guys can sign up for it if you're interested in stocks or monthly predictions, Joni's spiritual insights. There's a tarot article. There is just so much information in this magazine. And you can buy it on the website, Astrology Insights magazine,
Yeah.
or you can sign up for Joni's Patreon and you get the magazine through that. There are two ways you can get it. But
Yeah.
yes, I still do the monthly stock pick
Yes.
from an astrology standpoint. I
And
can't
here's
tell you what I picked for August. You have to sign up and look for it.
Here's another great thing. If you're part of the Patreon group, you get to make suggestions on what you want Shree to do the stock pick on. So yeah,
And I
that's
did pick up, I did pick one of those suggestions this month, Joni.
okay. There you go. See, guys, you can be part of telling us what you want to look at. And I also take the people from Patreon what they want me to do a YouTube video on. So the
Yes.
Patreon group is really a spiritual community. It is an amazing community. So I have the university, which is all astrology, but the Patreon is some is astrology, but it's about spirituality. We also talk a lot about different healing modalities and we help each other. Check it out. I think you guys would really like it. You can try it for 1 month, see if you like it, and I know you'll be hooked. It is a online spiritual community. But I have something I want to remember to tell everybody about. This is really, really exciting. You may not even know about it, Tree, but I think you do. Yeah, you do. It's about the contests that we're having. The Galactic Planner is now 1 year old. Today is its birthday. So, to honor that, we're having a free giveaway. And let me tell you what you have to do you're going to want to enter this contest. So what you do is you go to my Instagram, which is at Joni Patry, and you go into the post and you participate in answering some of the questions. And once you do that, then you get to be entered into this contest. And listen to what you win. 3 lucky people are going to win a full year of the Galactic Planner. And the other thing is a $150 gift certificate for Satya jewelry. And you guys have seen me wear her jewelry. I have the earrings on right now, the planetary. These are all the planets. And so 3 people. So when does it start? Tomorrow. Tomorrow you can enter July 31st, and the winners will be announced August 11th. You have nothing to pay, nothing to lose. Just go on to my Instagram. And the other thing that I want to promote here is the Galactic Planner Instagram. You can go there to my Galactic Planner Instagram. It is so much fun. If you want astrology entertainment and fun and knowing what the stars are going to bring us, go to Galactic Planner, the Instagram page. You're going to love it. It's a blast. I'm doing all of this fun stuff on here. I mean, look at the signs. Is this Cancer? Look at that. Can you relate to cancers like that? So it's really a lot of fun. I know you'll enjoy it, but I want you guys to enter this contest. You get to win the planner a full year and $150 certificate to Satya Jewelry. This is like a great giveaway, guys. And all you have to do is go in there and participate. You don't have to pay a thing. So there's no excuse for you guys not entering this. And I get to, I can't wait to see who wins this. This is going to be loads and loads of fun. So, but remember, it doesn't start till tomorrow. Tomorrow you get to go sign up. So go see what's being offered here and the fun that you can participate. All you astrology lovers, let's get together and lighten up a little bit. But there's one thing we forgot to show everyone: the best day of the month to do things, Shree. It's on the 20th.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, don't forget that. So here's a day that we found that is amazing for the month, the best day to get things done, to plan things, and it is the 20th of August. Look at this spectacular day. The moon will go into Gemini, and it will be surrounded by Jupiter and Venus. So in between those two beautiful benefic planets in the nakshatra Purnavasu, return of the light. That is the most amazing nakshatra. It casts no shadows. It's beautiful. After Jupiter and Venus have been in Ardra for so long, this will be a return of the light. It'll be better. It's going to feel so much better. So that this day, and you know what I noticed? I didn't even plan this, but I'm sure Dennis Harness did. I'm going to be teaching in Sedona. And I know I've been telling you guys, if you want to come meet me in person, I'm going to be in Sedona teaching at this conference. It's called the 9 Jewels of the Lotus. And Dennis Harness is putting it on in Sedona. And I can't wait to meet everybody that's coming. A lot of my students are going to be there, but I'm going to be talking. The first half of the day is an intro to Jyotish. I'm going to go into a lot of examples and things the first part of the day. The second part of the day, I am doing a new class on the outer planets. Shree has helped me do the research. And what I am doing with this is I'm looking at how the outer planets have really changed historically, things in the past, and also what we have looking at where they're going to change things in the future. So come to this conference, meet me. You can come one day, you can come to the whole conference. There you go. She's pulling it up. You're so good, Shree. Yeah, and look at this conference. It's amazing. I think everyone that's interested that can come will love it. So anyway, I'm there to celebrate with everyone. On my class actually falls on the most auspicious day. So I'm so grateful for that. Anyway, that I just, whatever you want to start or do in your life, use this day. It is a great, great day for beginning new projects. Things will prosper from this day forward. Okay. All right. Any other questions?
All right. So let's see what else is going on here. A lot of questions. So Patreon, they're asking if there is, let me see. If the chat room is on Patreon or is it on another platform? I don't know, Joni, the technical. It is, I think it's on Patreon, right? The chat room.
Everything's on Patreon, and everything, the chat, and here's the other things. Let me just tell you guys, in case, you can go see what the offerings are with it, but you get to see all of my my monthly videos way before they come out on YouTube. So you get early access to my monthly videos. You also get all of the aspects, like for this best day, the best days to do things. This is for the people that are on the radiate level. Every month you will get a printout or sent email, or it's actually in Patreon of what days are best. Like, don't travel on this day, do travel on this day, set up meetings on this day, don't do meetings. You will get, it's called the Muhurta. The Muhurta is the best days to do things that you can make your plans with. So you get that. Then you get the magazine free. That's included. But most of all, I love our Shooting Stars class. Every week, Tuesday at noon, we have this amazing class. It's an hour and a half where I bring out my book of symbols. It's like my tarot cards. I pull out the symbols. We all converse as to what it's trying to tell us is going to happen next week. We have had the most profound effects with this. As a matter of fact, one time we got a picture a week before that airplane crashed into the helicopter. We got a picture of a guy on a phone with a ball cap with a helicopter on it, and it had the number of people that died in the crash. This is the symbols that we work with in this class together. I let everybody talk and say what they think the symbols mean. And then after we do that, then we look at the astrology for the week. What do we expect to be happening? And this is all conversive. Everyone's talking with me. Not just writing things out. We're on a live Zoom. And last but not least, everyone will tell us about the new healing modalities that they have come up with, such as some kind of vitamin or mineral that they feel like has helped them. And then we talk about healing modalities. Last week, we talked about breathing exercises and techniques. So this is all part of it. The classes, the magazine, and the chat. You get the chat, plus you get to recommend what you want us to write about in the magazine, what you want.
You get early access to the videos, Joni.
Yeah, oh good, you're showing everything there. There's the monthly predictions, and there you go. Shooting stars. These are, and everything's recorded in case you can't watch it for later. So I really love this community here. It's so great. Plus, you can buy books at a discount and things like that. I mean, the offerings are so great. And it's turned out that I have some of these people that have been with me for 2 years. We've gotten to be really, really good friends. As a matter of fact, I can't wait to meet them in person. A lot of them are coming to Sedona. Oh, it's great. Anyway. Yes.
Joni, so Andrew wanted to know, do you plan on releasing an audiobook version of your latest book?
I guess I could hire somebody to talk it out, because I certainly don't want to. That's a good point. So Andrew said that. I will check into that. Somebody else had recommended that, and Shree and I are busy working on another book, believe it or not. So that's probably why. So
yeah, we're creating another world predictions book based on the outer planets and the nodes. So that's, coming soon. It's going to be really interesting.
Yes, Joan Seaman, she's part of the group here. She just put something in here, and she said that while we were speaking here, another earthquake happened, 8.5 magnitude. Wait, no, that was yesterday. Oh, I thought she said another one, but no. Yeah, that's happened already. Okay, so Joan's part of the group. And as a matter of fact, when I travel, Joan is the one who leads the class, the Shooting Stars. She's amazing. So
very insightful classes. Joan is amazing.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, we do a meditation, because third eye activated, that made me think of it, that the guy that has third eye activated, we focus on activating our third eye in the meditation. So anyway, okay. All right, anything else?
All right, I think that's about it, Joni. I don't see any more new questions.
Okay. Yes, let's do pray that these earthquakes and everything that are going on do not harm anyone, that we can escape this treacherous period without any human casualties. That would be my hope and prayer for what's going forward. And always raise your vibrational frequency, guys. Let's not get bogged down with all the anger and the hate and stuff that's going on. That's just, that's not going to do what we want. We want to raise our vibration. We want to raise our consciousness, and we want to grow on a spiritual level and help others raise their vibrational consciousness as well.
And build your immunity, right, Joni?
That's right. So anything else you want to say last? Shri?
No, it's just, that Neptune opposing the Mars, make sure you take your vitamins, build your immunity. And, I think the summer was treacherous. We do have a few more weeks of that left,
Mhm.
but, we'll get through it. And, I think one of the things, Joni, is that solar eclipse last year with the cross, remember?
Yes.
That was very telling because that, was right over Texas where the flooding happened.
Mhm.
So, because somebody asked a question, can you actually point out regions where
Yeah.
things are happening within a country? And I think, I was thinking back to that solar eclipse. You have to look at those symbols and omens. Sometimes they point out some regions, specific regions.
Mhm.
And yes, and some of the states, Joni, also have their own dates and times, right, for founding, like
Yeah.
Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I'm always leery to use them because I'm like, how do they know that this is when it started this
Yeah,
time?
exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
we do. We have some states, some cities have charts. So, but it's like, do I have time to look at every city around the world? Yeah, so sometimes we can just use our symbols and most of all, here's what I have to say. Connect with your inner divine spirit. There's nothing more beautiful than connecting to your spirit within. You are connected to the divine force of whatever you want to call it, God, the power, the divine. But we are all connected to that, and I want everyone every day to do some prayer work and connect within with that divine spirit, and you'll always get your answers. You will.
Trust your intuition.
Yes, intuition. That's it. So with that, like Shri and I'm trying to tell everyone, strengthen your immune system and we'll all be fine. Connect with your divine spirit and you're protected and things are going to get better. So thank you everyone for being here. It was an amazing, amazing class. And thank you, Shri, for all you do.
Thank you, Joni. Appreciate it. It's always fun. These classes are a lot of fun.
They are.
Thank you, everybody.